Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam. Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Today is Monday, January 7th, 2022. I did it. No hesitation. Had the date in my mind. Good morning, everybody. It is Mental Health Mondays. And as the Java fam is saying good morning to everyone, as you're saying good morning, remember to think about your mental health status right now. How do you feel? What's going on? I looked outside a few minutes ago and I saw snowflakes. Very interesting. But I also listened to the weather this morning and it's supposed to be 40 degrees today. And so if you live in New England, you can appreciate 40 degrees. Let's go in the cafe this morning and see who is in so far this morning. Kelly, good morning. Good to see you in the room. You've been in a lot lately, and I'm glad to see you here. Darryl from Tennessee, good morning. Good to see you in the room, brother. Nikki, good morning. In my thoughts and prayers along with everyone else, and thank you for your presence last evening. Teresa, good morning. Miss T, good to see you in the room. Good morning to you. I did drink water last night. And I also ate 2 Reese's. So I'm doing better, sis. I'm doing better. Stephanie, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Good to see you in the room. Lasagna, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Good to see you. Pastor Marion, great Monday morning to you as well. And Sister Debbie, good morning. Sister Debbie, I got to reach out to you. The team told me they saw an attempt to, I got to get my hair braided or something because this stuff is going everywhere. The team saw an attempt to purchase a candle, I believe. So one, thank you for your support. And everyone else, this is crazy. There is one piece of hair that made it out up under this do-rag. And when I tell you it, I got to move it because we can't proceed with it because it will bug me, Jesus. But Sister Debbie, I'll reach out to you via email. It's a shame because I still remember your phone number from back in the day. So good to see you in the room. And thank you for the support. Sandy, one of the candidates for Suffolk County Sheriff. Good to see you in the room this morning. Good to see you, ma'am. And Dre, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Good to see you, brother. And Pastor Marion is letting us know that she is thankful. Don't forget to drop your mental health status right there in the comments there. Sharon Cornelius. Sharon had a birthday yesterday, everybody. I think it was yesterday or this weekend. Can we say happy birthday to the second most popular person in the Java Cafe next to the host? Sharon Cornelius, good morning. Happy 25th birthday to you, mother. Good to see you in the room. Dre, yes, I do owe you a call. And I'm shocked because this is one, usually I don't talk on the phone. And this is one time where I was like, okay, Dre didn't hit me up. I didn't hit him up. But we'll check in this week, brother. We'll check in. Tasha, good morning. Tasha, look out for an article I wrote about you and Miss Ruthie this week. The article's been written, but I'm going to post it this week. So look out for that. I will tag you in it. Vanessa Niece, good morning. Good to see you in the room. You all please follow Vanessa. She does a Black History series every February. And so she kicked that off yesterday. Had a couple of tech difficulties, which I know a lot about. But go follow her and check her out. And Kyron, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Good to see you in the room, brother. Vanessa is saying happy birthday to Miss Sharon and celebratory. Sharon is letting us know that her mental health status word is celebratory this morning. Don't forget, in a few minutes, Dr. Brandy is going to come in the room and we're going to continue our conversation with relationship with self. We'll talk a couple of seconds about last evening. And Sharon, you're getting all the birthday. I'm sorry. I was off a year. It was Sharon's 26th birthday yesterday. And so we are definitely celebrating her, and Vanessa, of course. Dr. Brandy is going to come in, as I said, in a couple of seconds. But last night we found ourselves in a space, or holding a space for community, because so many of us have been dealing with compounded grief and mourning, which that is a part of trauma. And we talk about trauma often, but we've been dealing with a lot of grieving the last 2 years like never before. And so something happened with the tech last night, and the session is only on Facebook. And so I'm going to upload it to YouTube at some point, but you can definitely you can definitely check it out here. Last night's session, we had Reverend Donald Osgood, who also moves in the space of trauma, and also Mo Gadsden, who came in and talked with us. And we had a real conversation about grief and trauma, how we handle it, down to, if people inhale and they sip. We had a real conversation about that, about not overdoing it, and not being judgmental and how people grieve. And so that is definitely a part of mental health. And so I was challenged by a young woman that is a leader in this space and helping our community grieve and offering them services and ways to get through that, Tina Sherry. And she challenged me yesterday to, James, be more consistent and do that space holding more often with an intentionality. And so we'll figure it out. Dr. Brandy is in the room. I'm going to say it before she gets me. We have not got together for her green screen session yet. And so we're going to bring her in a couple of seconds. But go ahead and hit share this morning. I did see a couple of words for how folks are feeling this morning. Nikki, we are definitely praying for you and the Howard family and everyone that was attached and loved. Latoya, definitely part of the names that we mentioned last night of those that have transitioned these past couple of years. And so I'm going to bring Dr. Brandy in so we can continue our conversation about relationship with self, and also just checking in. And if you didn't, Dr. Brandy wrote a blog, and it's on the Java with Jimmy website, and it's called, oh Jesus, what do we call it? I know the first picture in it is I know I use Yonkers Way or Yonkers Road as the highlight picture. So I'll go, look, I'm on the website now, making sure everything is working. Good morning. Look, Yonder. Did I say Yonder?
Yeah, it's Yonder.
I need to be back in New York, Jesus. But go ahead and greet the people and say good morning, Dr. Brandy, and I'll go ahead and look for the name of the article while we're talking.
Good morning, everybody. Dr. B in the space. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little bit more subdued this morning. Last, 4 or 5 days have just been a little bit of a whirlwind. And so I'll start with my word, because it kind of encapsulates the last 4 or 5 days. So my word is soporific. SOPERIFIC. Soporific.
Hold on.
So, y'all,
Hold on. SOP.
SOPERIFIC.
Mm-hmm.
Soporific. So
it sounds longer than what it really is.
Really? So this word, actually, I was introduced to this word, this SAT word, via a movie. It's a movie called Wit that has Emma Thompson and Audra McDonald in it. And in this movie, Emma Thompson plays a character, a literary professor. She lives, breathes, eats her job. And one day she receives a diagnosis of advanced stage ovarian cancer. And the movie is about her journey through this diagnosis. And one of the doctors treating her is actually a former student who she failed and said he would never be anything because he was just a horrible student. But there's a scene in the movie where Audra McDonald, who plays her nurse, is administering some medicine to her.
Mm-hmm.
And Emma Thompson's character says, "I hope this medicine does not make me soporific." And Audra McDonald says, "I don't know what that word means, but it sure do make it." She says, "I don't know what that means, but it sure do make you sleepy." And Emma Thompson and her share a laugh because she's like, the word means sleepy.
Okay.
Um,
You're
and
soporific
so
today because of the
yeah,
last
and
few
so
days.
yeah, and it's a beautiful, poignant story
Mhm.
about, life, death, faith, and all of that. But that really encapsulates how I've been the last few days leading in today.
Okay.
Today especially, I'm so
And
tired.
it's Monday, and you just got
Yeah,
off the road, so let's just check
yeah.
in with you.
I'm so tired. Let me tell y'all, I feel so blessed. I feel blessed beyond measure,
Mhm.
and also tired, exhausted, drained at the same time.
Thank you for being transparent. Yep.
So blessed in that, as I shared last week, or maybe no, I don't think I shared last week through this space, but my maternal grandfather died.
You did.
He
He
Yeah,
you
okay, so I should
he passed.
I
He
just can't
told
even
us that
remember.
he was transitioning, and so
Yes, he
we
was
were
transitioning and transitioned. And so we pulled together the ceremony, his homegoing, whatnot. So I was blessed enough to be able to go, and travel and be with my family, be with them during that time. I was also blessed enough to come back in the midst of cancellation. Oh my goodness, rerouting, just nightmare. I have never like I've traveled, y'all. I've traveled,
Mhm.
but oh my goodness. So I had 5 flight cancellations, 3 redirects. and like and it literally took 17 hours from the time I got to the airport in Augusta, Georgia, to the time I touched down in Boston. And my luggage didn't touch down with me. It came later. But so
Oh, geez.
so James texted me yesterday and he was like, "How you doing?" I'm like, oh, I'm up, like, but I'm tired. Like my
Mhm.
brain is tired because, as you all know, when you go through family death and everything, it's just heightened. Everything is heightened,
Yeah.
and so I was dealing with that, and then having to be in the airport for 17 hours,
The me
and then
listen.
getting back. But I say, even in the midst of that,
Mhm.
it was a blessing because I was able to go and say my goodbye
Yep.
and be with my family as we did that. And it's still a blessing because some are still at the airport. I mean, based on where they had to go, I was like, "Oh, I don't know if they're gonna get
See,
out."
I have something coming up in a couple of weeks, and I don't do well with you telling me, like, "Sorry, sir, there's nothing we can."
Look,
I just yeah,
look. I say blessings on all the customer service folks
that's
and
true.
the gentleman who, because they delivered my luggage, y'all. You don't never get
They're
delivery,
doing it 'cause they
but
know they messed up.
that's how late it was and how messed up it was. And he was just like, and I just said to him, "Thank you so much for delivering it, and thank you for finding it." And he just stopped. He was like, "Oh, that's the first one I've received today." Because he
'Cause
was
usually
just like,
everybody else is upset and mad because
everybody mad. Well,
stuff
how
that
did I was just like, "Thank you," because I didn't know if I was gonna get it back. So, but yeah, so it's just been a long couple of days, and I am soporific. So
and thank you for that, Dr. Brandy, and we're not gonna pull too hard because I'll be honest, I knew that yesterday, I don't know if you saw, and I mentioned to you that we held space to
mhm,
talk about grief and mourning, and, we do have a schedule and a plan, for what we're talking about on Mental Health Mondays, but we're always organic and change, and so thank you for being transparent. A couple of folks have written, and if you did not hear her this morning, let's definitely wrap our arms around Dr. Brandy with the transition of her granddad, and that's just what we do here. And so I think, Dr. Brandy, it is okay if we either talk about that or we do a little bit about what we plan. It's flexible
yeah,
with where you're comfortable, because it's a real issue for us these last couple of years. It's different.
mhm,
And you said you
yeah,
were blessed to be able to go, and one of the things that came up last night is that we didn't get the chance to mourn some folks like we usually do. And so,
mhm.
out being, I know you're soporific today. So again, I don't want to have that
Y'all
soporicity.
see these bags? Y'all see this?
We
Man,
we can't really tell, Dr. Brandy. Well, now
Oh,
look. Now that you done pointed them out, I'm up here going like this. Okay, right.
right? See
You know
him?
what? I'm so mad.
Y'all see him?
Listen, now that's
Look,
transparency,
I
Jesus.
want to be transparent.
So,
Like, I mean, I'm still smiling, I'm still
yep.
doing all of that, but it was hard, y'all. It was hard. And this past couple of days, we're talking about relationships and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
self and everything like that. I learned some things about myself through this, in
Okay.
that especially in relation to others, and how because there's grief is an interesting process. There's individual, like, you think about all the things and the processes and the memories, with that person, or even if you didn't know the person, so you're having um vicarious experience, or you knew the family. So my best friend growing up, she's still my best friend today, but my best friend growing up, her mother came because she couldn't come, and like seeing her there brought back all the memories of our relationship, right? And so, but this process of grief is so interesting, because for me, it brings back just the importance of relationship and community to others. And how do you show and lean on your community?
Yep.
And that really touches upon your relationship with, to,
Others.
and amongst others. And
Mhm.
it's interesting because we all know, my family ain't like exclusive to this. We all know sometimes funerals, maybe birthdays, maybe weddings are the only time we see certain family, right?
Mhm. And we talked
And
about this before, but go ahead. Go
and,
ahead.
and how do you process that? Like, you be like, we share a connected bond, right? And I don't know you, and you don't know me.
Mhm.
And how do we bridge that? We may have known each other as children, but I don't know the 30-year-old you
Grown. Yeah,
standing
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
front
yeah.
of
Yep,
me,
yep, yep, yep.
right? Or I ain't even know you was a kid, because I mean, things happened, and families moved here and there, and things like that. And so one of the things I think that I'd like to kind of touch upon here briefly is, how do we build and grow our connection to and relationship with others? Whether it's times of sadness, times of joy, times of pain, times of grief. And it really does take me back. And I know I mentioned this in the space. I know maybe like a month ago when we were leading up to it, but it really does take me back to that, um, Tyler Perry refrain from, I think it's Family Reunion movie, but it was when he was doing the plays, and there's a whole segment where he talks about relationships and length of relationships and things like that. And he likened it to a tree, but how I'm talking right now is with respect to, yes, you have your roots, your branches, your leaves, all of that, but what I'm talking about is, how do we nurture
Yeah.
regardless of what it is? And so one of the things that several family members and I did while we were down there grieving, crying, snot bubble, I mean, all that,
Mhm. You know how we do.
right? But while we were doing that, we said, and the pastor said this to us too. It was kind of like, okay, pastor, all right. like, but what he was saying is that, look, you are family, you are bonded, you are connected, and you will still live on because of that man right
That's
there. But how will you do that? Because at some point, all of us will be there and
yeah.
in that position. And so, one of the things I was talking about with some of my cousins is, we have got to continue to connect, continue to strengthen our relationships, continue to strengthen our bond, because just saying family ain't enough.
Mhm.
like, oh, we family. Okay, but
The
what does
family is not
that
just defined by blood or biological.
mean?
There is a sense of family to where you know each other, you can predict what they're going to say. If someone asks, at the party, what's the food or whatever, she ain't gonna like that. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is,
But but James, I think it goes further than that because you can have connections with folks
mhm,
where it's like, I liken it to you have certain people that you go on vacations with, certain people that you hang out with, da, 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 da. But this is the person that if you wanted advice, you would
yeah,
go to.
yep.
If you needed a dollar, you would go to. Not just somebody that, you have that years long connection that y'all know what you're thinking, that type of thing.
There's
But
a bond.
but somebody that is truly connected in
Yep.
your circle. And so when we talk about relationships and we talk about relationship to others, it does matter with respect to how do we stay connected? How do we communicate? And part of that too is knowing yourself enough to know whether that connection builds you up, provides you sustenance,
Mhm.
provides you energy, and vice versa, right? And that'll be very important as we lead into next week, Valentine's, with respect to your love for a romantic partner. But it's very important is how do we build these connections? And I'll say, James, one of the things that was it was crazy because a lot of times my family be like, "What you do now?" Like, what,
Listen, she does a lot
like,
there.
like, are you teaching? You doing something? But it was so interesting because so many family over when I was home visiting and we were talking, were coming up to me and they were like, "Yeah, I just want to say that the work you do in mental health space is so important, it's so needed." Um,
So they watching.
yeah, they
They
watch
over
it,
there.
but I think the thing too is it's not that they're just watching this stuff, it's happening. And it's happening to a point where folks can't ignore anymore or can't
Yeah.
brush it off anymore or can't, attribute it to something else. Right.
It's
And
not just
so
that's not just little Brandy anymore. Is that sort of the cadence of what you're saying? That
yeah,
you're doing it because sometimes those that know us, they I won't say take us for granted, but there is just that notion, oh, that's just James. Oh, that's just Jimmy. Oh, that's just Brandy. She always trying to wellness and her stuff. And so are you
yeah.
saying that they see the fruits of your labor?
Yeah, a little bit, a
Look,
little bit, a little bit. And that was interesting
yeah.
because because all of us go through that time period. If you're raised in a certain tradition where you have the kids' table and the adults' table. And it was weird because it felt like truly arriving
The
at the
adult table.
adults' table.
Because
Like
there's no
truly.
transition with them tables.
Yeah. Like
You go
I've been
straight from
sitting
kids to adult.
yeah, I've been sitting at the adults table for a while. You know, don't let these non-bags and I don't see no grades today fool you. But I've been sitting at the adult table for a while. But this was like it was truly adults table,
So you felt
and
embraced
really kind of
in a different manner by the elders?
yeah, and I'm telling you, James, it was such a blessing. Oh my God, it was such a blessing. And it also bears so much responsibility too, because
Yeah, yeah.
it became so stark as I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my mom and my aunties and my uncles, who are 60s, um, pushing 60s now. And it was such a blessing to be like, for them in a sense to bestow upon myself and some of my cousins, like, okay, it's almost like the baton, like, okay, y'all pick it up, y'all carry this, carry that legacy, carry this. And so, and so that's what I mean, like that whole piece and relationship was just amazing to see and witness and feel.
So
And
I
yeah.
hear affirmation, I hear and acceptance may not be the right word, but there is like when my mother, my aunt, and them like reach out and they're trying to purchase stuff on the website. There's nothing like your family
Mm,
supporting you. And I guess in the tone of because we have been flexible around themes. The first week was checking in. Last week was a relationship with self, but we went off a little bit. Today's a little bit with self and merging into others. Next week it's going to be that other. And
Ooh, yeah.
next
We
week is
about
good
to drop some tea,
because I don't
James.
know about you, but I'm coming at it from a single perspective.
We you know, I'm yeah, we'll talk next week. No, because I believe in honesty and transparency.
Listen,
So we'll talk. I don't want to drop nothing this week, and then not have
yeah,
nothing
we
to
got to
talk
keep
next.
y'all Look, you
But
done made me sit up here and turn red and start
but
this.
no, we gonna talk, y'all. We go
We,
because it's important. It's
it
important.
is important. I mean, it'll be 9 a.m., but we'll do it
Yeah.
PG rated.
Oh,
The
no,
movies,
no, for real. It's 9 AM. There could be some kids or something
they
watching.
should be in school. Jesus, I hope
They
they're
should
not
be,
going over.
but, I mean, might be home, I don't know. Oh, the one thing I was gonna say is in talking about this too, one thing I thought about while I was down there was how like, what do we place value on and in? And what do we surround ourselves with? Because one thing I was thinking about, because we're talking about relationship, right?
Hmm.
And relationships, we talk about relationships with others primarily. So family, kinship, relationship. But then there's also that, like, what is your relationship to your job? What is your relationship to your health? What is your relationship to all of those things? Because one thing I was reflecting on as I was going down because I'd already sent my messages like I ain't gonna be available, like dun 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 dun, because you recognize what's important and what is of value to you and what feeds you in certain moments,
Do
and
you
it
think that
becomes
comes with
so.
age?
I don't know. It ain't. I don't know if it's age so much as it becomes crystal clear because you think about it like and I've talked to folks because I believe in talking to your elders and things like that and one thing I've always heard them say is when you get into the twilight of your years and you have less days in front of you than behind you,
Hmm.
one of the things at least get all things given, but one of the things I've heard is that folks, they don't think about the possessions, you don't think about the fights. You don't think like at the end times, right? So
Yeah,
we're not talking about leading up to it. Some people just ornery and they just that's their
ornery.
countenance.
Oh,
Right?
I ain't
That's
heard
their
that in a long
countenance.
time.
It's ornery. I'm gonna
Mhm.
tell y'all, and I tell my family all the time, and they think I'm lying. I can't wait to become that old person that's like got my head scarf, do rag, whatever, house robo. I'm sitting in my front porch with in a rocking chair, and I'm just saying, "Get off my yard!"
I want you not to be that
I
old
can't wait.
woman.
I can't wait. Because you know what that means? That means I was blessed enough to live there. I have grass. I have a house. Hopefully that's paid. Y'all don't. This is like for me, it's like a trajectory of like, I'm fully blessed. So I'm blessing you by telling you walk on the daggone sidewalk
Get off my grass.
and get on
Listen.
my grass. But no, no, one thing elders will say is that, towards the end of their days, it's about your relationships. It's about what someone said, what someone did. It's about that warmth, that comfort,
Yeah.
at that period of your life. And so, as you're reflecting and you're going and as the pastor was saying to us, is like everybody gonna be in that
Gonna go through this
situation.
unless, as the old folks used to say, unless Jesus cracks the sky first,
Okay?
everybody gonna be laid
Everybody
out.
can be in that situation. So, what are you going to leave, as you go through
Mhm.
that process? And so that's what I mean in terms of what do you value? And I realized in that moment that I love what I do. I love my job.
Mhm.
But is it of more value? Like, and so,
That's real.
but I mean that in a sense of
Mhm.
I love what I do. I love the work I do. But, like, and it just brings those things, like, I can miss this meeting. I sure can.
I
I
mean, that
like
goes into self-care.
yeah,
I bring her off on Saturday, and we just Dr. Brandy, we gotta go to our homework assignment, but I just
yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
say a couple of things I heard there, was that you made yourself a priority, and also death has a way of making us pensive And what I mean by that is you become more reflective. You do get into the thing of what's my legacy? If anything happened to me today, would I be missed? Would the world be a better place? And so we've mixed this morning, kind of a spillover from last night, understanding what Dr. Brandy is dealing with. I hope that this past few minutes helped you with your processing as well. But overall, we're talking about relationships to others, and there is a significance that when that relationship sometimes is broken through death for whatever reason. And so it does make us, I would say, more reflective. And for some of us older ones, it does, what's the legacy leaving?
Yeah.
Because and I in these past 5 to 6 years, I have not thought about death more than I have probably over my whole life, because you're getting older. And as you said, when you seem to have more days behind you than in front of you, like I'm 50.
Yeah.
That's where this whole midlife crisis
Yeah.
and all this other stuff come from. See all the red I that's where the red came from. I didn't get a
Look,
kick out of
look,
the convertible.
I'm gonna do some like I'm gonna probably like have a third business or something during my midlife.
Listen, that's a
I'm
whole nother
so
thing, Dr.
serious.
Brandy, because
Look,
we get comfortable in who we are, we get
mhm,
comfortable in what we know, and there is
and then
some
it
value to
stuff
40s and 50s.
yes, and then stuff just shakes you up, right? It
Well,
just,
that's true too.
it just so in
What's our
thinking
homework
about
assignment?
homework, I have
Yes,
homework, but I'm definitely gonna have to do my write-up and send it to you
and
today.
blog. Okay.
Yes, because it's 9 questions to ask yourself.
Not okay. I was getting ready
9,
to type. So
9,
go ahead. I
9.
ain't that
So
good.
we're gonna listen and then I'm gonna put the post up hopefully later today, by latest tomorrow.
Give yourself grace, and we can wait.
So the first question, and again, this is all about relationship to self, relationship to others, and then it also blends into romantic relationships. These 9 questions cover all of that. Number one, what do I feel like I'm missing in life?
One,
That's number one.
two.
Number two, what are some of my long term, short term goals? Okay. Three, what are some of my passions?
Mm,
How can I pursue them?
mm.
Okay.
Yep.
Four, what are my values? What do I believe in? Five, and these questions, they really ask you to
You
dig
see, I
deep.
sat back and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
this is good.
Number five, what is my purpose in life? Okay.
Mm,
Number six, what are some of the things I love about myself? Number seven, what are some of the things I would like to change? Number eight, what am I looking for in my relationships? And then number nine, how could I take better care of myself?
thi-
That's not from Brandy. It's a psychologist, Dylan Buckley. And he says these are 9 questions to really ask yourself, because if you know you better, it'll improve all your
Good
different
relationships.
relationships.
That's Dr. Brandy. We getting close, and I really, because we're I've noticed, and you all do this at about 9:40. Y'all go to work. I don't know what happens, but things just go.
Yeah.
And so Dr. Brandy is going to write that up, and we'll post it. And if you did not see, Dr. Brandy did put a post up, and I went to look at it, and the name of it is The Journey and the Destination, and it's under the health category, and we'll eventually have a mental health category on the website. But go to the website, check out that article. It gives some context for this whole series that we're doing with Dr. Brandy for this first quarter. But you can come back every Monday at 9 a.m. and chat with Dr. Brandy and I. This is the space that we check in on our mental health in real time. If you're just coming in and did not have a chance to, make sure you drop your mental health status down in the comments there. I'll review them when I get ready to go pay some bills after Dr. Brandy goes on and take. Where's Coco? You know what I thought about this weekend? Did you bring her with you or?
I did. And I just for most of the time I left her at my mom's house. and she was fine. Let me tell you, my mom spoils Coco more. Look,
That's a grandbaby.
look.
Shoot.
One day, we came. Myself, my sister, my brother, we were all fortunate
Give us
enough to
the
come
quick
down.
version, Dr. B. Give us
Yeah,
the quick version.
we came home. How about Mama sleep, Coco sleep, but Coco right here on her feet, knocked out. It just, and then we come in the house. Mama wake up. Oh, who is? And Coco wakes up and barks at me, y'all. She barking at me,
Oh, Coco
the
got brand
owner,
new with grandma.
the owner. Hello, and like, and I'm like, Coco, it's me. Oh, okay, okay.
You got real
Like,
comfortable.
and
Remember, you got to go home, Coco.
yeah, you should have seen my mama. She was like, Coco, Coco was just fine.
Here's one question here, and Miss Teresa gonna light it up. We that may be number 10.
Yeah, well,
Now you
it's
do our
kind of it's mixed in with, the what am I looking for in relationships? But then the other piece of it, which we'll talk about for the next week is, well, what do you bring to the table? You got a long checklist. Can you say the same about yourself?
I'm gonna ask one question, and then we really got to wrap up. And you don't have to answer now.
Uh-huh.
Not even you, but out there. I just noticed that when I was in my 20s, my list was like that long. And then I hit my 30s and my list
Nah.
got
No,
that long. Then
I
I hit
would
the
say
40s. We kept the essentials, but some of the superficial stuff, I'm like,
no, I would say that for me, it was the opposite. It was like short in my 20s. I was like, oh, he cute. He cute. I mean, he like, I don't know, maybe those are sentences. I don't know. Like,
that would be
yeah,
I messing with
I
you.
had a look. I had a different mind. For me, it
It
was the other
matured.
way.
Yeah,
Well, it just got a little bit more granulated, and I was really more I had a longer list the older I got. But when I was younger, oh,
it was a
mm,
short list.
yeah, looking back, Jesus. Oh, oh,
Camera, get off the
oh,
camera because
all
we
I
about
can
to
say
be
is,
Brandy. We about to
woo,
be
there
Brandy,
is
not
a
Dr.
God.
Brandy.
There
Listen,
is a God, and He brought me over. Uh, mm, mm. When I look back, whoa, oh, woo,
Dr.
Jesus.
B, get off my camera because I said Dr. B. In a few minutes, I want the Brandy. Listen, I
But,
appreciate
but no, I know y'all listening can say the same thing. When I look back,
over my
ooh,
life
okay.
and see what the Lord has done.
Woo, woo, woo,
Ooh,
woo.
we go, Stan. We're gonna talk. We're gonna have a relationships conversation. That probably gonna
Yes,
need to
that's
be
next
Dr.
week.
Brandy's
Yeah, and
been
I'm gonna
wanting me
post
to
the
do.
9 questions. I'm gonna
Look,
post the 9 questions.
Dr. Brandy's been wanting to come into the Dark Cafe, the Java After Dark Cafe for a little bit
Look,
now, and so we might
James.
meet Dr. Brandy. I mean, we might
Yeah.
meet Brandy that evening.
No, y'all gonna meet Brandy with a Y. Okay. Mhm.
Oh, not okay, Doctor. Get off of here. And Dr. Brandy, seriously, thank you so much.
Teresa said dodgeball. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
You know what? I'm
like,
not messing with.
like, oh Lord. Oh no.
Listen, y'all ain't
I'm
gonna.
like Heisman. Heisman. Mm,
You know
mm.
what? I'm glad Props ain't in here today because he'd be on here acting up with y'all. Dr. B, in all seriousness, though, and we are having Black joy moments, and I think that is important to name when we're dealing with stuff. But I really, really appreciate your sacrifice because I gave you the way out a few times. Dr.
Yeah.
Brandy, if you don't feel up to it, I got it covered. And so I appreciate your commitment in being here every Monday with us because mental health is vitally important. And yeah, don't forget next Friday, you all, there is a mental health summit that is being sponsored by Dee Dee's Cry, and it is Black mental health while Black. And so
Yes.
that information is on the
Gonna be
website.
fire.
It is,
So,
and
y'all, everybody's gonna be there.
it
If
it
you
is.
haven't registered, I'm sorry, the registration is
Registration is
closed.
closed.
We have 175 people with a waiting list, and James didn't even register. So yes, I'm putting you on blast, but that's okay, cause we got you, James. But no, seriously, it is going to be an
That was a private
amazing.
conversation. and our ED. And I see, you know, Dr. Brandy's the operations person for DD's Christ, so she know everything. So she did call me out. And yes, I
But no, it is going to be an amazing, amazing, amazing event. I'm sure we'll be broadcasting as we're there. There's going to be morning workshops, evening workshops. We're going to have some
not
music.
evening, late
Um,
afternoon, because when it's over,
no, I mean, yeah, but
oh,
like
encore.
late,
But go ahead.
yeah. But and yours truly will be speaking. We're gonna have a plenary session. Like it is going to be an amazing event in fellowship, in self-care, in self-love, and really kind of getting into our mental health and
Wild
having
black,
an open honest conversation
wild
about
black,
that. So
wild
so
black.
if you're registered, you're in for a treat. If you're not, it's gonna be annual. Don't even worry. Catch us next year and catch us on Facebook. I'm sure Toy will be broadcasting live. So
Listen, and yours truly will be. I'm still figuring. Well, Toy's still figuring out. I'm emceeing. I think in the middle somewhere. You know, with these, you just come and show up. That's why I didn't know that I needed to register. So on that note, Dr. Brandy, after calling me out, thank you so much. I'm going to go pay a couple of bills, and we'll be back next
yeah,
Monday at 9 a.m. with Dr. Brandy. But I'm here, sis. Reach out and take your time with the write up. We'll get it out to the Java fam, and love you much.
green screen, James.
This week, I put in an email that we will make it happen this week. I will make sure that Tay gets me on the books. Just text me your address, and we'll figure it out.
All right.
All right. Thank you,
Bye,
Doctor.
y'all. Have a great day. Be blessed. Be well. Um, keep heads up.
Yes, ma'am. I'll check
Bye,
in Monday.
y'all.
Bye bye. That was our Dr. Brandy. That is just a gem here in the Java Cafe. Thank you all for tuning in this morning. Listen, we're going to keep it percolating this afternoon, and Dr. Brandy kind of talked about it a little bit, but we are having a Black mental wealth session this afternoon at 1 p.m. with Royce R. Veal. He is a business mentor, and listen, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are someone that wants to improve your money mentality, if you are someone that wants to be challenged about a vision or idea around a stream of income that is a passion of yours, you definitely want to come back today at 1 p.m. and listen to this good brother. It's going to be a very informative, real, authentic conversation contributing to our Black mental wealth. And I encourage you to come back today at 1. Don't have a lot of guests lined up for this week. You all have the pleasure of being with me this week on Testimony Tuesday tomorrow. We Need to Know Wednesday. This week, I am doing sort of an update. 4 years ago, we started the hashtag We Need to Know. What the community needs to know from the city of Boston around what it is they're doing around violence prevention. Can you believe it's been 4 years? We had that meeting on February 10th, 2018, and it's 4 years. And we still need to know. There's a lot of things that we still need to know. So we're going to be talking about talking about that this week. Again, thank you. I did see that Naraki, and I checked in. You all please keep sister. So it really and I want to end on a good note. The reason I did the session yesterday, I felt compelled to do it or led to do it, however you want to phrase it, was that my timeline over these past like 2 weeks, and there have been a few incidents like that where just every day on average there was 3 or 4 deaths, and there's so much. And so please, let's keep our sister Rena in prayer, that promotes intentional self-care. She's been in the cafe before. Some of you all have your own relationships with her, and y'all don't even meet up in the cafe. Y'all do your own thing, Naraki. But please keep her in prayer. Continue to keep Lasagna in prayer as well, and our brother Stan as well, who's been very transparent about him dealing with dialysis and things. And so definitely keep all of the Java fam in prayer, because we're doing okay. But with that death of the former Miss America, who really brought attention to the fact that there's this thing that we're talking about now called high functioning depression. That's real. So we'll have some conversations about that. Okay. Sharon, see, they were together yesterday. And so based on what Sharon said right now, Don't over bombard her with a bunch of messages right now. She's a very spiritual sister. Keep her in prayer, and she'll feel the strength and support. Rachel, let's figure out a way to do something virtually for Sister Rena. Maybe we put up a post and tag her and everybody at some point, not now. But we'll figure out how to do something for Rena because she is so she extends herself to so many people. And so anyway, we've been on a little bit long today. Lasagna. All right, y'all get ready to keep me on here a little bit longer. Say a word, Lasagna. Can I be transparent, including me? So I appreciate the check-ins that folks do here and there. Even when the do not disturb is on, I still see it. And so, and you all don't know. Sometimes, just Miss Teresa, sometimes just reading the question, how are you? Did you eat today? Did you drink water? Just to know that you're in somebody's mind. And I know I'm in people's mind. My mama's on here, family and all y'all, but it just does a lot of times for people that move in the helping space, just to know that someone, you cross their mind. Donald said it last night, that when someone crosses your mind, reach out. So we'll end with that. Thank you all for tuning in today. We will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have a wonderful Monday. Remember to make your mental health status a priority. Do your best to maintain your mental wellness. And if you are dealing with issues of mental illness, there's nothing wrong with not being okay until, as Miss Teresa said, you are okay. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m.